another episode of Modded Minecraft with Alpha Pickle here today. So I finished fixing the Wither Killer right here. With this setup, nothing gets destroyed. I moved this back and added a range upgrade to it, so none of these pipings are getting destroyed anymore. And then I changed this to hold 64 nether stars, and then it will turn this off, which right now it's paused because the redstone signal is activated. So we should, in theory, have 64 nether stars in our AE system, which we will check when we get upstairs. I've also been running this with the wither skeletons and the pigmen for a while, so I'm actually going to turn the pigmen off. Maybe I'll turn the iron golems on. I think that's the iron golem one. Yep, there we go. So this thing's been working pretty good. Still uses a lot of mob essence, so that's going to be an issue. But we got 63 more gold blocks, and I've taken some since then. So we got a decent amount of gold built up now, so that's good. Let's head back up top. Let's look at those stars real quick. Yeah, 65 nether stars. So if we take, for instance, like 3 out or 4, it should, yeah, you'll see at the top of the screen, it spawned a wither, so it should kill a few more, and then stop again once we reach 64. I think I just put my cards back. So I got quite a bit of stuff on me. Today we are going to automate basically our storage, so to say, for our blocks here. So basically what we want to do is when we have the auto miner set up, we want to rework the system we have downstairs, the auto smelt and everything. And we want all the ingots in the system to go into blocks, so that's why we have all these over here. So we have all the metal blocks I believe we got so far, and we just have a storage bus on here, and we put the storage bus with priority 1, so that way anything we like shift click any redstone blocks or anything in here, for instance we have 0 right now. If we shift click these in there, it's going to go into the drawer instead of the AE system, so it'll save us storage space that way, and it makes sure it goes to this before anywhere else with that higher priority, so that is good. So since we can see all this with our AE system now, with that storage bus there, it only takes 1 to see all of this, which is nice. Then we want to basically tell our system to keep a certain amount of every ingot in the system, because we don't want to be sitting there uncrafting all these blocks all the time when we need them. So I'll have to rework this over to here. That's just temporary, those barrels right there. But basically how this is gonna work, I can show you a little demonstration of it. We basically want a ME interface with a storage bus on it. So something like that should work. As long as we got 2 channels, it should be good. Okay, so I got 20 crafting cards right there. So if we put one of those into, oh no, that's not what I wanted to do. So with those crafting cards, we will put them in the interface. So should just be able to put 1 right there, and that will basically make it so it'll craft if needed to get the items we specify in here. Basically all we got to do, say we want redstone dust for instance, let's get like a stack of that. We can specify to keep 2 stacks worth right there. And as you'll see, it already put 3 right there because there's 3 in the system. So if we go ahead and put stack back in our AE system, it's going to shoot it out right here. And since we have the storage bus, let me fix that real quick. Since we have the storage bus on top there, we can still see the redstone dust. There we go. Once the channel updated, it read that there's redstone dust in there, and we can still access it, use it just like normal. So basically we can tell it how much of each item we want it to keep in our AE system, and this won't take up any storage in our drives, which is also nice. That's just an added benefit, and you can do pretty customizable, which is nice too. So if we only want 20 of an item because it's an expensive item, we can do 20 of an item. But say we want 9 stacks of redstone, so that way we have a decent amount of redstone dust in our system, we can do 9 stacks. That's the max we can do with just 1, but that is a-okay with us. So then all you would have to do is set up a crafting recipe, which I already set all of them up. I just haven't went and put them in our inscriber down here. And we're actually about to change this inscriber setup, so that's why I made 20 inscribers, or 20 molecular assemblers here. But since we got the recipe to craft redstone dust out of redstone blocks now, we should see this go ahead and fill up. It probably ran out of redstone blocks. So we already got quite a few in there. Let's throw some more redstone blocks in up here and see if it'll fill it up all the way. And there you go. I don't know why that one's doing half a stack there. It's kind of strange. There it goes. It was just kind of glitchy, I guess. But if we just do that, it'll keep however much we tell it to in our AE system. And again, we still have access to all that redstone dust. So basically, if we take so much out, it's going to start crafting it back into dust form. So super awesome setup. Very easy to do. And basically, we will need about 20 of these. So it's going to take about 40 channels because it takes 2 channels per item, one for the interface and one for the storage bus. But I believe it's the most efficient way to really do this. So anyways, I am going to go downstairs and find a spot for this crazy setup and we will get to it. Okay, so I got us a little space set up right here. I went ahead and set up, it looks like 8 of these. So again, we're going to have storage buses on all the interfaces, and then we also do have to connect just a regular ME cable to all the interfaces. And it seems to work if we share it like this. It still seems to get all the proper channels. Since these cables can only do 8 channels per, and we got 16 channels on the line, it still is sharing even with them connected. So that's good. We should be able to make it a bit more compact that way. But I went ahead and put a smart cable right here as well, so you can see it says 16 of 32 channels being used up. So our next set, if this works, again, it's right next to this one. So we will see. We are going to try to put it right here. And we'll just put the storage buses like that again. And then the interfaces straight on top of those. Then all we should need is a cable running between to make sure they are getting on the system. And let's see if that works. Well, it seemed to work, but for some reason it says 28 of 32 channels, which I'm not entirely sure why, because it looks like all these storage buses are online. So I guess when we actually set up the interfaces inside of them to keep the items we want, we'll find out then, I suppose. And we're gonna set up probably, I think it's 20, about 20 for the mining system for all the blocks and stuff, the metal blocks. But hopefully we can kind of stack this. We might have to spread some stuff out a little bit, but if we can get another like 20 or 40 of these in, we can use these to keep pretty much any system in, or any item in the system very at hand and ready without using level emitters or anything. So it makes it a bit easier in my opinion. But next we are going to try to stack another set on top, and I don't think I have enough of the interfaces and stuff, but if this works, that means we can just stack it straight on top and we will craft some more. Okay, so I only had 7 storage buses, but let's go ahead and place these right here at least and see if they add to the channels properly. And let's go ahead and get another smart cable. I'm gonna place a smart cable right here to see if it's looking like it's gonna work or not. And it'll probably take a moment to update. This one says 16 of 32. So I think it did split them. Kind of weird though, 16, it looks like they're still all online. So now they're kind of split between up here. That kind of makes sense. We should have more than 32 on the system though, because we got 4, 8, 12, 16. So we got 32 just down here alone, plus another 14 up here. So we technically have 46 channels. But I guess our best bet is to just start putting items in here, like the items we want to keep, and just go from there and see if it works or not. So again, if we put redstone right there, gonna hold that in there. So pretty cool, and I'm gonna get these set up for at least a decent amount of them. So if I'm not mistaken, I have these assemblers set up correctly. The assemblers do not use a channel, by the way, so really we're only using like 4 channels on this whole line right now, because there's one right there and then 1, 2, 3 for the interfaces. We could probably make a bit more of an efficient setup, because we are going to want more of these for auto crafting, because the one upstairs is really bogged down because we only got 1 molecular assembler on that one. So since we got, I figured 3, because each of these is going to have 9 ingots in it, or 9 crafting recipes for ingots, so like redstone blocks into redstone dust, for instance. Since it'll have 9, I don't think most of the time we'll be using more than 3 at a time. Technically, we could probably put 6. It's going to craft things quicker, so we might upgrade it later. But for now, this is what we're going to go with. So basically, we just got to throw all my recipes I have in here into these interfaces. And there we go. We're gonna have to go upstairs and double check and make sure it has all these. I didn't put them in any particular order, really. Do we have iron ingots? Yeah, they were there. Okay, so there's not a lot of super common ones on here besides iron. Maybe nether quartz. We might want to split those up since those are probably going to be some of the more common ones. But yeah, I split them up a little bit just because we don't have them all completely full. But I think that is set up, and then if we put crafting cards in our interfaces, we should, in theory, be able to craft all this. So let's check out, let's just go to our crafting terminal. I believe that's all of them. Kind of looks a bit weak, but I believe that's all of them. So we got all the ingots. Let's try to craft some. Let's see if we have any emeralds in them. We have 69, so let's take those out. So now we have a 0. Let's try to craft 10 of those. And I assume, yep, it crafted them right there, so we are good to go. Now the only thing is these emeralds are being stored in our ME drives, and they're going to be stored in the interfaces downstairs. At least some of them are. But since if this makes sense, hopefully this makes sense to you guys, but basically if I have like a couple stacks of coal in my inventory or whatever, and I just shift click it into our AE network, it's just going to go into a drive, which is kind of silly. We got this whole fancy setup, and then it's just going to waste space in our drive. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to make every corresponding, so every dust form of all these blocks right here in these, and that way, since this is set as priority 1, if we shift click any of the dust in here, it'll go into those spots, so it won't be a big deal. Okay, so I went ahead and grabbed 1 block of everything in our drawers upstairs. That way I made sure I didn't miss any, and I craft them into the ingot form, obviously. And then what we can do is just start putting them into these interfaces right here. So all we got to do, again, is just put a crafting card in there, and then whatever ingot we want. So let's do iron to start, because that's a good one, obviously. And there we go. It's going to keep that much in there. And then if we want more, we can just grab this out, just like that. So we don't have to sit here crafting a stack of each or however much we want of each. So that should go pretty smoothly. So I'm going to get all these filled in, and I will be right back. So I have a little more troubleshooting to do, I believe. I've rearranged a couple of the wires. It didn't seem to help. For some reason, we're still saying 28 of 32 channels. So if anyone knows why that is, I would greatly appreciate it. But basically, this one, and I think that's it. No, there's 3 not working. That's what's weird. So basically, 3 interfaces. So that's 3 of the channels not working. Then I assume one of the buses. No, all the buses are online. That means there should be a 4th. To have 28 channels, that means we're missing 4. There should be a 4th one of these not working, but it looks like all of them are working except for these 3. So that is very, very strange. I don't know if it's just a bit glitchy or if I set something up wrong. I went ahead and got rid of the top layer to see if that would help. It did not. And as you can see, a lot of them I held 9 stacks, like the common stuff again. But some of the stuff I just went with this. That way I didn't have to set up any more today, and we still got pretty good supply of everything in our AE system now. So that's really cool. Alright, so I know this is a pretty short episode. Hopefully it's at least 10 or 12 minutes, but I'm not honestly sure. I've been at this for quite a while. That thing is I'm having a lot of issues with it being buggy. Pretty much what I showed you last time, that's as far as I got with it. So it still has a couple things I need to kind of work out. I don't know why I'm having these issues. I'm sure it's something simple that I'm missing. But also, I'm going to off camera move all the ingot ones over to here, so we have a nice storage for them. And the rest I don't think matter right now, but all the ingots and dust of these blocks I'll move over here. Also, I'll probably get these set up in a ton of glass bottles for dragon's breath, and then maybe at the beginning of next episode we can go kill the dragon, get a bunch of dragon's breath for that generator, and then we're more on our way to where we want to be. The main reason I'm getting this block system set up for the ingots and such is because I want to revamp our processing station a little bit so I can mine more efficiently without having to fix things all the time, because a lot of things are issues going through my system that we have just too much of, like cobble and all these stupid blocks. So we're probably just going to move a lot of those over to right here, where we had the sand and gravel, I also threw an obsidian one on there, so we got 32 stacks of obsidian, which is nice. I threw the igneous extruders right here for all those. We can obviously set these up a bit different if we want any more blocks or things from these, but for now, obsidian, sand, and gravel is plenty for me. So I'll probably put cobblestone and all these other miscellaneous blocks we get from mining over here. That way, when we put them in the system, we'll just shove this to priority 1 again, and they should come into here instead of taking up space in our IME drives. And we'll just put void upgrades on these, so shouldn't never get cobble or anything in our IME drives, and we should still be able to access everything. So, like I said, I'm still having issues with this. I'm not sure what is the deal. Hopefully it's nothing too difficult that I have to mess with, because for some reason I'm not even seeing them in our system. So like, I threw a terminal down here. We got all the blocks there, but if I go to redstone, for instance, because we have 5 redstone dust, when obviously we have 9 stacks right there, and it has a storage bus on there. So I don't understand why we can't see that. I must be missing something or doing something incorrectly, so if anybody can help me out, I would be much appreciated. But other than that, I'll try to tinker with it when I have time. Again, as I said last episode, I am moving this week. Just had a kid 2 weeks ago. He's 2 weeks old today. So just been very, very busy. So I will try to get these videos rendered and uploaded and stuff, and try to keep the content entertaining and try not to drag out these videos too much anymore. We got a lot of cool stuff coming, and hopefully within 3 or 4 episodes we can get to our rainbow generator and our crazy power storage. But it's going to be quite finicky to craft the couple things we still need. So anyways, I will see you all next time. Thank you for watching. Again, any feedback, let me know, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.